I'll just show you a few details of the GybeTime system installed upon Javelin J105. Here's the GybeTime box, which is installed here in the chart table. The GybeTime box is wired into power, a switch on the breaker, and is wired into the Brooks & Gatehouse instrument system, which is providing NMEA data into the unit, and that's where the wind instrument data is coming from: wind angle, wind direction, heading, etc. And then the GybeTime box has its own GPS in it, so it doesn't need to receive the GPS data from anywhere else. It doesn't require an external antenna. It's got a high sensitivity GPS that will, in our experience, work fine inside the boat. So the GybeTime box is a Wi-Fi access point, and it is streaming out data right now, so you can receive that data and use it in a variety of manners. For example, this laptop is running OpenCPM, which is a popular navigation program. There's no wires, it's picking up the data through the Wi-Fi. Another popular app is iRegatta. So this is iRegatta, and it's receiving GPS data as well as wind instrument data. You can see, for example, the wind angle, true 157, the wind speed 4.4 knots. So I can see this data conveniently. I could be off watch, laying on my berth, keeping an eye on what's going on in deck, all from my iPhone. So that's pretty handy. I'll cover a little bit about the lights on the box while I'm here, just to show what is correct operation. The GPS light up there, the top one, flashes just to indicate that GPS satellite signals are being received and the thing is generating position. The instrument light is blinking every time there's a series of data bytes coming from the Brooks & Gatehouse system. So that's the NMEA data for the wind instruments coming in. The power light is solidly on. And then the wireless LAN light is blinking every time data is being actively transmitted over the wireless port. So basically every second this is sending out GPS data as well as relaying out all the data from the instrument system that it's receiving. Okay, it's also putting out the GPS position on its NMEA output on the same cable, so that can feed other things in the vessel. For example, it's tied into the VHF radio, so the VHF radio is receiving the position, and that will serve also this particular radio is enabled with the feature where it can broadcast that position out in an emergency if you pull this distress button and it's receiving the GPS. Some of the radios have GPS built in, but if your radio doesn't, this is a convenient way to get the GPS in. We also have the GPS tied into the autopilot as well. So the other key feature about the GybeTime system, and perhaps its most valuable feature, is that it is always logging the data into its internal memory. It has a vast amount of internal memory, so you could leave this box in your vessel for years and it'd be recording all of your data. Data is pretty small, and it's compressed in there in a series of files. So that data would be basically all the data the box is receiving, your GPS position, which it's generating internally, as well as all of that wind instrument data that's coming from the Brooks & Gatehouse system, or whatever your instrument system is, into the box. So those data files are recorded in the box, but you don't have to take the box out and take the box home to sync it, because it syncs through the cloud. And I'll explain a little bit how that works. It uses your cell phone, but it uses your cell phone whenever you want to. In other words, you don't have to have a live connection. It's not like it's streaming data continuously via your cell phone, which would be an issue because typically offshore or anywhere you sail, cell phone coverage could be pretty spotty. So it's recording the data, and now when I come back after sailing, and sometime before I leave the boat, I say, okay, well, let me make sure my data gets uploaded to the cloud. And that's where I use my GybeSync application. So I have my phone connected to the GybeTime access point, and I want to start the box sync. I can see the last box sync is never, because I actually reinstalled this application. And I'll start the sync, and it's searching for the box, and it's basically just synced it. Okay, so now that data has been synced, and the data is in my phone, and it will find its way up to the cloud and the server. I don't have to do anything more. If I have cell coverage currently, it'll send the data right away. If I don't, it'll send the data a bit later. Let's say I don't have any coverage right now. I'm still at sea, but once I arrive back on land, my phone will automatically sync that data up. And then you can view that data in the GybeTime website. You can download the data, or you can have the data pushed to other sailing websites. So I'll show you a little bit more about that in a later video. But today I wanted to cover mostly the inbox system and show you really what the GybeTime system can do for you in a pretty typical application. Thanks.